When did Anthony start stuttering?
Anthony started stuttering with his very first word. It was car.
What did you know about stuttering before you had Anthony?
My father stuttered, and so did Anthony's father.
After he had been stuttering for a while, how did you react to his stutter?
I think we just tried to ignore it.
Okay.
And then when he started to be in speech therapy, the therapist taught me new things that I didn't know about stuttering.
And how was Anthony told by the speech therapist, and how were you told that he should, quote unquote, deal with his stutter?
We were told that when Anthony was stuttering in a conversation to us, to stop eye contact with him, maybe look down to the floor or something like that, so that he would relax and wouldn't feel so pressured to get his thought out in a speedy manner. My father had his speech fluency was probably worse than Anthony's, and it was actually slightly different.
How so?
Also, my dad would hesitate and take little breaths in, and Anthony just sometimes doesn't talk.
And he doesn't breathe. He stops breathing, right?
Right. I would say the biggest change in Anthony's life was when he was going through middle school. Then his peers and classmates sometimes would mimic him.
Okay.
And so then he just he didn't talk a lot.
Did you ever speak for him?
I don't think I did. At least I tried not to.
Do you think that stuttering is caused by the environment? Why or why not?
I don't think it's caused by the environment. And I felt like Anthony's home environment was not something that would cause him to stutter either. I would say we were fairly functional.
What do you think causes stuttering then, if you don't think that the environment causes it?
I think it's anxiety.
This is my brother, and he stutters. Okay.
Sometimes.
Do you think your environment affects your stutter?
I don't think my environment does now. As I grew up, people speaking for me didn't hurt me, but didn't help me either. But me looking back, there were things that could have been taught to me at a younger age that would have helped. I wasn't taught anything. I wasn't taught ways to help it.
Do you think that Mom's reactions to your stuttered speech altered your speaking?
Altered it? No. Helped it? No.
Why?
Because she always spoke for me.
Would she stop you in the middle of your speech and then say what she thought you were trying to say?
Everyone does. Yeah. If I'm having an issue, they'll try to finish it, and it doesn't make you mad, but it's like that's not what I was trying to say.
Do you recall instances when Mom or we as your siblings would interrupt you, causing embarrassment or frustration with that?
Never embarrassment.
Really?
Not amongst my family. Out in public, if that ever arises, I just don't talk. Our grandpa, and he's the one that probably helped me the most. Mm-hmm. He had learned, like I'm doing right now, I'm sure you've noticed, I'm slowing myself down. Mm-hmm. And it's taken me a long time to figure that out. Ever since you've gone into this, I've thought more about it, and I've attempted to correct it. There's a way that you can do that, but it's in your head. It's all in your head. Everything. I've sat here and I haven't had a whole lot of a problem. And you've heard me talking in the past where things can't come out. So you just have to get through it. People out there, whether you want to admit it or not, if you have a problem, they think you're stupid. But when you speak to somebody and you have that issue, they look down at you. It's like, are you kidding me?
What are your siblings' reactions to your speech?
Only one that's ever had one is you.
How so?
You tried to talk to me about it.
Yeah.
Other than that, nobody ever says anything.
I feel like I would finish your sentences a lot. And
you used to?
Yeah.
Mom does.
What about your wife and daughters?
That doesn't even faze them. It's neat. It used to bother me, it doesn't anymore. When you talk to somebody and you start having a problem. And when I have problems, sometimes my eyes do close, right? Because I can't get it out. Mm-hmm. When they come open, you see that person that was speaking to you, and they're doing this because they don't feel comfortable seeing that. So that's never happened with my wife and kids. It gets worse with my stress level. And wife and 3 kids and business. It's pretty stressful. And with everything going on in your head, you don't have a clear thought, because you're trying to handle 8 things at once. So you don't exactly know what you want to say. I think that's the biggest reason why, if you slow down and take a breath, you get your head clear.
If you're in the middle of a stutter, like if you're, thinking of that word and you can't get it out, can you physically stop yourself and take a breath if you need to?
I'm working on that. The hardest part of that is when you do that speaking to somebody, it makes it more obvious. So that's hard to overcome. Just the mental and what you think that person is thinking about you.
What was your speech therapy experience like?
A joke. The individual sat and watched me play games.
Any words of wisdom that you would like to share with future speech language pathologists?
I guess because there's an individual that I know that has a speech impediment that's worse than mine. Everybody isn't the same. Like, since I've been speaking to you about it, I've made a conscious effort to try to fix it, and it can be done. For me, I have certain words, or like S's. For some reason, I have problems saying S's. I've actually learned if there's a word coming up that I'm going to say that I'll have a problem with, I'll switch the word. I think it'd be easier just to slow myself down and say the word. I feel if I was caught at a younger age and helped, it wouldn't be an issue. That also comes with confidence. Like we talked earlier, if I'm at a drive-through, it goes in my head, okay, I'm going to have problems on this word ordering or that word ordering. I'm done. I've lost the battle. At that point, I go into, how am I going to order this? Because I can't order it this way. If you're ever in there with me when I order, sometimes I'll use a number. Sometimes I'll use what I'm ordering. My speech impediment was one of the big reasons why I didn't go to college. You have to take a speech class.
Yeah.
That was when I went down to Danville. I was in that class. Had to do a speech the next day. Never went back. Yes, it's hereditary, but just because you have it doesn't mean you have to have it. I think it can be fixed or helped. That's an issue. Trying to talk too fast through something, and it's like I'm trying to speak beyond my thoughts. Or when I know I might have an issue trying to say something, then I'm already lost. I've already psyched myself out to where, oh no, I can't do this. And then it's over. You going into this field has actually helped. So it just makes it more, I guess the biggest thing is to talk to somebody about it. Makes it seem okay. You haven't tried to tell me what to do. You've just listened. This whole deal here is a huge step for me.
Good.
Big. I would never do that. As far as help, just help.
Nice work. You didn't stutter at all.
I did a little bit.
A little bit.